Everybody, welcome back to Leosophy. I got 3 questions. Jump right in. Can you really eat so much sugar you go into a diabetic coma? Yeah, that's a little expression you hear people like jokingly say. Well, sugar can indirectly affect you, whether a person gets type 2 diabetes or not. Type 1 is inherited in the first place, so that one's not even really going to matter. And then type 2 is based on largely, there are multiple factors, but really it's based on obesity. And your glycemic index and the amount of sugar and carbs you take in can have an effect on that, but more than anything, it's really has more to do with obesity. So it's not necessarily like sugar related. It's just that once you have it, the consumption of sugar and how it affects the amount of insulin in your body, it dramatically alters how your lifestyle is going to be lived after that point. But no, it doesn't actually do that. You can eat sugar without worrying about directly causing diabetes. Really, obesity is the big thing. That being said, sugar turns to fat quicker than pretty much any other macro. Alcohol and sugar are technically sugar is part of the carb macro, but the simpler a sugar is, the less healthy it is for you, unless you're running a marathon and you're going to burn it up immediately, because sugar, that's how it works. It's very easy to make use of, and so as a result your body burns through it very quickly, and if it doesn't burn through it because you're not being active, it converts it into fat. So no, to answer your question quickly and succinctly, it doesn't, but it absolutely plays a role in the development of type 2 diabetes. So let's see, what else? Okay, next question. Hang on, let me draw it up. I'm going to have to pause it to draw it up. Okay, question 2. Why are there so many different kinds of alcohol if it's all just alcohol? And then in parentheses, ethanol, which, good, yeah, you're paying attention. Either that or you just knew that separately. Well, okay, I see what you're asking. It doesn't mean like different kinds of alcohol as in like the alcohol family, like octane and methanol and ethanol. That's something we've already covered and you actually referred to, unless it's just a coincidence. What you really want to know is, like, if it's all just booze, why is there brandy and whiskey and absinthe and things like that? And it's really, the thing that's important to note is, one, it's not pure ethanol. If it was, it would just be like raw grain alcohol, like Everclear or something, like 200 proof. And two, the congeners and other compounds that give it its flavor, not only do they comprise, usually on average, 60% of it, for the most part, your average spirit is 40% or 80 proof ethanol, and then the rest is different congeners as well as water. And so that ratio is going to dramatically affect what you've got. So, for example, if it's made with by distilling sugarcane, a lot of those compounds from the sugarcane get into it, and you end up with rum. If it's then aged in barrels, compounds from that get into the sugarcane liquid, and you've got dark rum. And then if you were to do the same thing, but you used corn instead of sugarcane, at least 51% corn, and then the rest probably barley or rye, then you end up with bourbon and so forth. Brandy comes from grapes. Where does cachaça come from? I think that's also sugarcane. It's just like a secondary method or something, like kind of like how molasses is like a secondary byproduct. And let's see, brandy comes from fruit, including grapes. That's the main one. Tequila is made from agave, which looks kind of like a gigantic aloe plant. Other whiskeys are other kinds of grains like rye and barley. Absinthe is flavored with wormwood and a variety of other herbs. Vodka is potatoes or grain and is generally neutral. Gin is similar to vodka, except it's flavored with different botanicals like juniper berries. So, yeah, that covers most of them. These are the ones I can think of, at least. So, yeah, it's not a question of the actual ethanol so much as it's a question of all the other stuff, which is, like I said, usually 60% of what you're talking about. I mean, most of that's water, let's be honest. But those congeners, they really add up. I mean, it's important to point out that tea is a beverage that is not water, but it's like 99% water. So, yeah, a lot of those other compounds that are unique to the plants that are being distilled have a huge, huge, huge role in what you're actually, the finished product, what you're getting out of it. And then of course there's also like non-distilled beverages. You know, wine is fermented grapes, sake is brewed rice mixed with well, it's not mixed so much as altered by a mold called koji. Otherwise you wouldn't actually be able to make it because it breaks down those starches into something that can ferment. Beer is a variety of grains, most notably barley. So yeah, different plants lend different flavoring agents to different beverages. So that's the deal. Let's see. Next question. I got to pause it again to draw it up because for some reason it's like slow to draw up right now. Yeah. Okay, last one. Does Benadryl cause dementia? Maybe. I love Benadryl. I use it like all the time. So hope not. But here's my take on it. There was a study done by JAMA that had a lot of conclusive evidence that anticholinergics, such as Benadryl, had a marked effect on dementia. Now, here's the issue I take with that. I'm not saying that it doesn't. I'm just saying here's the issue I take with that. One study. 2, small sample size. 3, they used multiple anticholinergics, including tricyclic serotonin inhibitors, or whatever that is. I can't remember exactly. And 4, they used a very specific, like I think if I remember right, this is based on memory, which might be fading thanks to Benadryl. If I remember right, they had a very small sample size. It was something like 30 people. They were all geriatric male African Americans, if I remember right. So that's extremely specific. And yeah, there was a very notable link. But when you use a sample size that small, that narrow a group, and then you use multiple anticholinergics, it lends itself to the possibility, to the likelihood even, that correlation and causation are not the same in that instance. Like maybe it just so happens people who are more prone to get the sniffles or have insomnia may be more likely to have insomnia. Or maybe if you're a 70-year-old black man, you're more likely to use an anticholinergic than another over-the-counter medicine for something like that. Like there's a lot of possible room for error. And so short answer, maybe. Long answer, don't be overly concerned about that particular news report because like so many other news reports that have to do with a scientific study, they tend to feed more on like, this will kill you, this will absolutely 100%, yes, all the scientists agree that if you use apple cider vinegar in your sauerkraut, you're gonna die, basically. Like there's always that. So yeah, short answer, maybe. Long answer, I know I said that like 3 times now. Maybe it does have an effect. Long answer, it's a much more complicated issue that hasn't really been fleshed out properly with enough study. So yeah, thanks. Hopefully that answers it. I know it kind of sort of doesn't really, but yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and keep asking questions. Bye.